You want answers?
I think I'm entitled to.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth.
Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel, folks. It is Friday. Is it Good Friday? Is it Freaky Friday? I mean, how are we supposed to think about what the heck is going on? Well, how about this? How about, cluster bombs are going to precipitate World War III and the U.S. entering it? Well, where the hell did that come from, John? Isn't the world at peace? I mean, isn't the Biden administration protecting us? Yeah, we got a lot of questions out there. And got people driving like total assholes today. Woo! Here we go. Okay. Well, before we get into cluster bombs, let me ask you a couple questions. Since we have the Department of Energy, Biden administration, perverted pup handler. All right, guess what? He's being charged with another count of grand theft. That's right. The cross-dressing, weirdly identifying a bald dude who's in charge of nuclear waste for the Biden administration was charged, with stealing, I think it was either $2,300 or $3,300 in luggage from an airport, publicly on camera, caught. Now being reported that theft has been committed at Las Vegas International Airport by the same clown. All right, so Freaky Friday. How about this? How about, hey, what happens when women identify as men? I mean, right? That happens. Why shouldn't it happen? Well, men are allowed to be in public topless. When are we going to start seeing women topless in public identifying as men? How about this? How about men who have had breast implants? When are they going to start appearing in public topless because, they're men and they're allowed to do that even if they decide to get breasts? Yeah, I mean, and if they and if they identify as women, who's to accuse them of being women when they're walking around? Because you may or may not know their identity, especially now. And what if they're gender fluid? Meaning they can change their mind anytime they want, folks. This is the mentality that I wanted to bring up. The Democrat screwball mentality. I want to talk about that, and then you consider what is possible with World War III. Literally, World War III. It's like, wait, what is gender fluidity and pup handling idiots in the nuclear waste division of the federal government got to do with World War III? Well, if you're willing to accept the premise that it's a great idea to have a kleptomaniac wackadoo, right, in that level of position. Oh, the same with Rachel Levine, and her and everyone else. Does it clearly show? Question: does it clearly show that their judgment, their state of mind is not, shall we say, sufficiently mature and stable? Mature and stable to be in positions of power. Yeah, like hashtag Rachel, what the heck happened there? Rachel's suggestion, recommendation, and drive to have, well, children continually pummeled psychologically with the concept and notion of gender reassignment surgery. How is that a great idea? Okay. Now let's move on to World War III. The United States government, arguably the world's most powerful military, in possession of the world's most powerful military industrial complex, the maker and developer of some of the nastiest killing mechanisms in the world, wants to hand over to Ukraine cluster bombs. Folks, what is a cluster bomb? Well, a cluster bomb is a bomb, an explosive device that is intentionally designed and manufactured, right, when it explodes, to send, I don't know how many tens of thousands of small pieces of shrapnel flying through the air in every direction, well, along the ground, to slice, dice, and obliterate human flesh. Now, war is a nasty thing, folks. It is. When men are used to kill each other in support of what some leader or leaders decide is a good idea. Sending men to kill other men is awful. It's an awful thing. And history shows that I guess it's necessary because you have corrupt leaders in countries that want to take control of people's lives and tell them what to do and steal their money and rape their women and destroy property and burn crops. And other men don't like that and want to resist it. You can't blame them, right? So, yeah, there's instances where war is a very necessary thing. As distasteful and objectionable as the idea is, right? And other times it appears that war is just to suit the fancy of some psychopath in charge. So, let us continue with what this cluster bomb discussion is about. We've been cataloging, documenting the increase in war rhetoric and choosing sides, right? The allies, pardon me, the allies, right, who want to join one side or the other. If you were Russia, no, let's go the other way. If the President of the United States learned that American troops have been shredded to pieces by some rink-a-dink country, like, I don't know, let's pick one, Venezuela. If our troops across the border from Venezuela were shredded by a cluster bomb, a bomb designed, created, right, to just slice people like a million ginsus were just thrown through the air at top speed, right? How would our president, well, let's not count Biden because, you know, Rachel Levine and pup handler boy. How about President Trump? How about President Reagan? If Russia gave Venezuela cluster bombs that were used on American troops, on soldiers and Marines, what would the response be? It'd be like, you gave that type of weapon to an enemy to use on our troops, knowing it was going to be used, knowing there was no doubt, no question. Right? You'd be like, we're going to go kick some ass. You don't go blowing our fucking people to pieces with a weapon, right? We would say that Russia, you gave that weapon to Venezuela. You did that knowing it would be used on our troops. You are acting against us directly. It's inexcusable, unforgivable, and obviously you are using Venezuela as a proxy army. Right? They're Russian in everything but uniform because of what you did. Well, Biden, folks, is mulling over the idea of giving Ukraine cluster bombs. Those bombs will be used. Those bombs will be used against Russian soldiers. And Vladimir Putin is going to see that and know that. What do you think his response should be if he were Ronald Reagan? What if, right? What if? This is what we're looking at, right? We know what it should be, but what will it be? What will Putin's reaction be when his soldiers are ripped apart by thousands of little Ginsu knives flying through the air at the speed of sound? Well, let me ask you this, right? What do you think Putin thinks of the Biden administration and their wackadoo, perverted belief systems? And that these wackadoo perverts are all in agreement that they need to give U.S. nastified weapons like a cluster bomb, right, to Ukraine, the single most corrupt government on the planet, in the opinion of many, certainly top 10. And folks, there's a lot of countries that are completely fucked up, but these people in Ukraine, right, where they're laundering money through FTX to give back to Democrats and scumbag rhino Republicans, where they had 27 or 29 bioweapons research labs. Yeah, that Ukraine is going to be given these types of weapons, and they'll be used. Or will those weapons be turned over, sold? Oh yeah, sold to terror groups. And those weapons could end up in Europe. They could end up in Africa. They could end up in Asia, Japan. They could end up back in the United States of America being used against Americans. How can we trust a country like Ukraine? Well, let me ask you this. How can we trust our country, the United States of America, to a bunch of freaks? No, they're just fine. That's normal. And finally, what would happen if the LGBT parade was hit with a cluster bomb? Would that be worse than Pearl Harbor? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, to the left it would be, folks. Even though how many hundreds were killed in Pearl Harbor? Yeah. We got a lot of questions going on, folks. A lot of questions to be asked. This shit hits the fan. It gets worse, and they push World War III and offer some of the most dangerous, irresponsible, corrupt people on the planet incredibly dangerous weapons. Unbelievable. Chance favors the prepared mind, and I'll see you, folks, at the Friday free-for-all. Semper Fi, Godspeed. Oh, and Merry Christmas.